Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final third. And today we're going to be doing our reaction to the Premier League game week one results. Now, we've had a lot happen this week. We've had big games, we've had small games, we've had big results, and we've had small results. But what we can say, the Premier League is well and truly back. And before we get started with any of the analysis, Al, do you want to go ahead and reveal the player from the quiz?
Yes, it was Joe Cole. Let us know if you got that in the comments below. And at the end of the video, I'll give you another 5 facts to guess a new player. If you want to carry on with the video, Hans, go ahead.
Perfect, yeah. Joe Cole actually used to play for Liverpool, so I think the best place to start is Liverpool. And Liverpool beat Bournemouth 4-2. Now, that game was high scoring, obviously, and there was very high intensity, and a lot happened in that game. None more so than a Mr. Semenyo gaining the spotlight. What did you guys think about the game, and what did you guys think about Semenyo?
Yeah, so it's a great game to start the Premier League season. 4-2, 6 goals, high scoring game like Carl says. And yeah, Semenyo, I'm a big fan of Semenyo. And I'm quite surprised that no one picked him up this transfer window. Of course, transfer window's not ended. He could easily go somewhere else, but I've heard he signed a new contract with Bournemouth. So he's probably going to stay. And yeah, I just think he's a great player, great asset for Bournemouth. But we should also talk about Liverpool. I mean, 4 goals. There's still clearly a goal threat. Yeah. Ekatike, goal and assist on the debut. Great player. We all knew he was going to be a great player. And yeah, just in general, Liverpool playing great, but they did show some weakness in the defence. And I understand they signed a defender recently. But in my opinion, instead of spending 150 mil on Isaac, I believe they need to still spend a bit more on the defence and a bit more experience. Even though they have signed that youngster, I think maybe a bit more experience could help them push on. So yeah, what about you, Hassan?
100%, I agree with everything you said. Obviously, Liverpool winning the game is important to them. 3 points in the bag. However, they showed a bit of vulnerability in the defense. As we've said in the previous videos, Van Dijk is getting on age. Showing his age and stuff. So I feel like, yeah, signing a young player like I'm not sure what his name is, but I know he's Italian and he signed from the Italian league. I think it's Parma. But yeah, he needs to learn off Van Dijk and obviously become that starter for Liverpool, because obviously players get older and don't show the same amount of athleticism and pace as before. So obviously they slow down, because as you can see, the Semenyo goal, he just completely outpaced the whole defense. So I feel like, yeah, Liverpool does need to bolster up the defense. And yeah, as you said, maybe not invest in the Isak and maybe invest in the defense or midfield or any of those areas. But yeah, no, I think Liverpool played well. Ekitike showed his class, and he's trying to prove that maybe you don't need an Isak in your team, and he's like enough. But yeah, I think they play well. Semenyo obviously with the 2 goals, one great solo goal from the halfway line, and obviously he did gain the spotlight for other stuff outside of the game. But yeah, we don't condone any type of stuff like that. It's not nice to see those things happen on the pitch and players receiving that hate. I feel like the game is the game, and it brings us together. We shouldn't attack someone's color or whatever. That's just it's not what we stand for at all. 100%, man.
Yeah, like you said, we don't condone any of that stuff. But going back to the point of the young centre back they brought in the kid is called Giovanni Leone, and he's 18. And we talked about him in the previous video because he signed, I think, just then, or got the here we go from Fabrizio. And he's only 18 years old, born in 2006. He's 6'5", which is kind of scary. Like, he's a man mountain for an 18-year-old.
He's got 3 years to grow as well, if you think about it.
Exactly. Technically, yeah, 3 years. I mean, you still, some people still grow past 21.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that if he's there to learn off Van Dijk, I think Van Dijk can teach him things that not many other centre-backs can teach other centre-backs. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he's just one of the greatest defenders in Premier League history. I mean, to be a centre-back and be in contention for the Ballon d'Or at one point is unbelievable.
Even in the Messi, Ronaldo,
and he is getting on. Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he is getting on. But what I will say is he's still an unbelievable player in terms of how he reads the game. He's still there. Maybe he's lost a bit of pace, but everybody loses pace after a certain amount of time. But this kid can definitely learn a trick or two from Van Dijk, and that will be very good for Liverpool. And that is good for them. Now, the next game we're going to be looking at is Aston Villa and Newcastle. Now, that game was quite boring as you look at the scoreline, it finished 0-0. Villa got a red card, and that made the game a little bit interesting in terms of, the context of the game. And Newcastle probably should have won the game. But what did you boys think about that game?
I think, you know what it does show? I think it shows Aston Villa's defensive resilience. To go a man down and still get a point. I know it's at home for them. Was it at home for them? I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
So even though it's at home for them, they obviously have that advantage. It's still impressive to gain a point against Newcastle while being a man down. I did see that the keeper made a good couple saves. But yeah, no, it does show great defensive resilience. I'm surprised, do you know what? It does show that Newcastle are missing Isak, that goal threat up front. Even though Alanga, the new signing, did play well. Anthony Gordon, great player for them. But they clearly missing that goal threat in Isak. That whole situation, I think, clearly affected Newcastle on the day. And yeah, I think, again, like I just say, they're missing the goal threat up front with Isak. Aston Villa, just to be fair, probably need to make a few more signings if they, want to push further up and do well in like the in Europe, and all that. So yeah, but that's all I've got to say for that game. Again, boring game, 0-0, so not much to talk about really. What about you, Hassan?
Yeah, I agree with what you've said pretty much. Like, it was a very cagey game, quite boring. But there was some moments, obviously. But Alanga running through and getting Konza the red card. But it was a very boring game. And as you said, Isak is a big loss for Newcastle. He's like the goal outlet for them. And we'll see how Isak does in the transfer window. Going to Liverpool. But it was a bit of a boring game to say the least. But yeah, moving on to next games, I guess, or what Carlos thinks about the game.
I won't really say much because, like you said, it finished 0-0. I mean, I think Newcastle should have definitely capitalised on the red card. I know it happened in the 66th minute, but really and truly, you still should capitalise. Ali was right. They did miss that goal threat in Isak, but I've seen very entertaining 0-0 draws in terms of there was the Manchester derby last season. That was quite an entertaining 0-0 draw, but yeah, this one definitely wasn't. So we'll move straight on to the next game. Yeah, we'll move straight on to the next game, and that was Brighton versus Fulham. Now, this one was a bit more entertaining. It still only finished 1-1, but there was a bit of a twist right at the end of the game where Newcastle, Fulham equalised in the 97th minute. And it was quite an even game, but, obviously Brighton, worked hard to get to the 90 whatever minute until they equalised. So what do you guys think about that?
To be honest, I didn't watch the game. I haven't really seen much of the game, but I did expect more from Brighton, especially at home. But what I will say is, to be fair to Brighton and to be fair to Fulham, I do kind of see them on a similar level. To be fair, so I'm not surprised that it was a 1-1 draw. I don't really have too much to say. Like I said, I didn't really watch the game. I think it shows a lot from Fulham to still stay in the game, get that last minute equalizer. Just shows the resilience and to keep going, and get that goal really. So that does show a lot from Fulham, especially away. But again, I didn't really watch the game. Haven't really seen many highlights, so I can't really talk too much about the game. Well, what about you, Hassan?
Unsurprisingly, I didn't watch the game either. But based on the stats, you can see 50-50 possession for both teams. I think Brighton had the more dangerous chances overall. So, and playing at home as well is an advantage for them. So they should have at least won the game for me. But I think my predictions are actually predicted 2-1 Fulham. But I thought that Fulham were playing at home. So in hindsight, it should have been 2-1 to Brighton. But either way, they didn't win. So. I feel like both teams are good. They're not obviously the best teams in the league, but I feel like they can win some big games, as we've seen in the past with Brighton. I think it's a good result for Fulham, especially playing away. 1-1's a good score, getting the last minute equaliser. I think Muniz is a good player as well. I think he's class. So I'd say decent game, but I didn't really watch I watched the highlights. I didn't really watch the full game. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously, I think these teams are both, in terms of you compare it to the other teams in the Premier League, I mean, back in the day when you say a mid-table team, you wouldn't say teams like this because Brighton and Fulham actually play good football. They do play good football,
Yeah.
like especially Brighton. Like you've seen them play, they have great players. Same with Fulham. Very dangerous teams. And obviously, they probably just cancel each other out on that day. Matt O'Reilly scored for Brighton, and he's apparently linked with the move to Juventus, so we can see the quality of player he is. I mean, you had Munoz, he came off the bench and scored, which was, obviously what you want from a substitute. Obviously, last-minute equalizers would be perfect for any team. But again, it's not really much to talk about because I didn't really watch the game either, with all due respect to these teams. But I'll be honest, I had work at the time, so... But we're going to move on to the game, which I think is going to break somebody's heart. And it was...
Heart is an understatement.
So we're going to move on. I think we already know what the game is. It's Sunderland 3, West Ham 0.
Mate,
now let's just let Ali go ahead and let him talk.
I am trying my hardest not to swear right now. I have so many things I want to say, but I don't want to speak for too long. Look, it's an absolute shambles. It's devastating. First game of the season, you get excited. The Prem's back. You want to see your team win. And when I saw that we had Sunderland first game of the season, I'm like, bro, we've hit the jackpot. You know what I mean? We couldn't have got luckier. How wrong was I? Oh my God, 3-0. Now, don't get me wrong. I have talked about their transfer window, and I've been very impressed with that transfer window. And I do want to give Sunderland credit. They were great. Okay, but oh my God, West Ham. I have mentioned it many times before off camera to Callis that we did not need to prioritize a goalkeeper, but we needed to prioritize a midfielder, right? It was clear and evident that we have no legs in the midfield, which doesn't help. I also don't like our defense. Not the fullbacks. I like Diouf and I do like Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka, one of the best players that we have. But the centre backs, it's just not enough quality at all in the defense. Mavropanos, I hate him. Get him out of my club. Kilman, he's just awful as well, and it hurts for how much we spent on him. And to be honest, I'm here. Aguad's been wanting to move out. Just give him his move out. I do like the player and I respect what he's done, but I think it's probably time, if he wants to move on, to move on. Again, look, I don't want to speak too long. I'm devastated. I hope this isn't going to be a reflection of the season. And yeah, to be honest, I'm just devastated, guys. Devastated, man. I can't say more. Again, I don't want to swear, so I'll just...
I mean, I think Ali summed up the West Ham side of things, and obviously it was a terrible performance from you, but I think you just got to give credit where credit's due to Sunderland, obviously.
100%.
I think Hassan, you go ahead and talk first, and then...
No offense, but say the Hammers got hammered. But no, I feel like Sunderland are a good team. They've shown a bit of class and stuff. But yeah, no, it's just I feel for West Ham. It's just the fans obviously looking at the team getting, say pummeled. In the first game of the season. It's not the best thing to see for your team, and I get it's frustration. I'm a United fan, so I know how it's like. The club not signing the right players and not signing enough players. But yeah, I feel like West Ham do need a bit more legs in midfield. And I'm not a fan of the defense either. The defense got cut open very quickly, so I feel like they need to invest in those areas a bit more. But yeah, it's just unfortunate for them. I think Sunderland made very good signings, and I think that's one of the reasons why they played very well. But yeah, what about you, Carlos?
I mean, Sunderland made the signing of Granit Xhaka, who is a player that I think would have been brilliant for West Ham, but obviously we move on from that. Like they have made even more signings. Do you know what I mean? And their bench honestly looks quality. Like I was talking about as my player of potentially, Chris Rigg. I mean, he came off the bench. He didn't really start, but we weren't really expecting to. But in terms of the team and Sunderland, they were the better team probably. I mean, the possession doesn't say that. Yeah. And obviously, sometimes stats aren't everything. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes stats paint the wrong picture. but you would say Sunderland deserved the win. I mean, it's a dominant win,
100%.
3-0. I mean, they had more shots on target, which, but other than that, I mean, West Ham had way more possession, 63%. Had more passing accuracy. But you know what I mean? Like with some teams, they're just good at hitting you on the counter attack, and it just seemed to work for Sunderland that day. I say the quicker we move on, the better, just for Ali's sake.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Let's try to move on, please. I do not want to.
Okay. The problem is we're moving on to a team you dislike, and it's Tottenham beat Burnley 3-0. It's like we're just going.
This is on
I'm
top
not
and on
gonna
top
lie,
of him, you know.
this couldn't have been a more worse start to the Premier League season than this. First of all, losing in this fashion that we
And
did,
Kudus gets 2 assists as well.
and then a player that I'm so unhappy with at the moment for leaving, for the way he left, going on to do well. Now, what annoys me is that a lot of West Ham fans believe that he was awful. I always knew he was great. Always knew he would do great for any club that he moved on to. And that's why it hurt me even more knowing where he moved to, because I knew he would do great for them. Right? And obviously he showed it yesterday. Was it Saturday, sorry. Against Burnley, gets 2 assists with Richarlison, and credits to Richarlison, scored one of them a great goal, overhead kick. And look, Spurs, I said it before, Thomas Frank, manager to watch for me. He's a great manager. Clearly showed got them going. Of course, it's only Burnley, so we shouldn't get too ahead of ourselves. But they played well. They got a great team. Obviously, their signing showed that. And yeah, no, it's a good win for them. But I hate to say that. But yeah. What about you, Hassan? What do you think about it?
For me, yeah, Tottenham played very well that game. I mean, obviously, as you said, it's Burnley, but every game in the Premier League is a challenge. But yeah, I think they played very well. Unfortunately for you, Kudus played very well for Tottenham that game. Richarlison with a nice goal. Yeah, and I think Tottenham.
What a goal that was as well. Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolute peach. Yeah, but I think with Tottenham, yeah, they could be very competitive in terms of European football, like maybe top 6. Like I feel like they could definitely make it. But yeah, we have to see, if they get consistent enough. And Thomas Frank can definitely do something with this team. But as I said, it depends on many other factors. But yeah, what about you, Hans?
I do want to say one thing, that we don't kind of want to over egg the pudding in terms of. I mean, it is against Burnley. With all due respect to Burnley, they're probably the promoted side that we'd say are the weakest.
Yeah, agreed.
That's just my, maybe in the season they might stay up, but on paper they're probably the weakest Premier League side that come up from the Championship. So for Tottenham fans, I don't think you should get your hopes up, right? Obviously, almost every single player played well. 3-0 win, convincing, right? Richarlison, scoring just he loves a bicycle kick, doesn't he? He scored that one in the World Cup.
Yes. Yeah.
It was unbelievable. This one was unbelievable. And I mean, he's performing well, and he can. To be fair, when you get Richarlison firing, if you remember how well he was at Everton, he's a great player. He is a great player. I mean, obviously with the likes of Kudus and Bergvall, and even the defense. I mean, the defense is rock solid. Jed Spence, by the way, underrated. He is unbelievable because he can play on both sides, and that makes him, just unbelievable. But
he's had a good comeback, to be fair.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I guess there's not really much you can talk about. I mean, Burnley, they didn't really offer much, did they? I mean, even their best player, technically, Kyle Walker. He's the right back. You're not expecting him to score a hat trick. Do you know what I mean? But I just think that the game was just kind of obvious because we all predicted that Tottenham would score at least 3 goals, and it happened. But we'll move on to the next game, and it is the game I predicted, actually. Manchester City beat Wolves 4-0, and a very dominant performance from Manchester City. Haaland casually bagging his opening day goal, or goals, as we should say, because he just loves goals. Reinders and Cherki scoring on their debut. But generally, what did you guys think of the game?
Look, we all, predicted a win for City. Like Carl says, he predicted the correct scoreline as well. We all knew they were going to dominate Wolves. Man City are such a great team, such a creative team. Have Haaland as a goal threat, so he's always going to bag you goals, especially on an opening day. And I've already said I'm really excited to see these new signings, and they've already shown it. They've both got a goal each. Ryan's getting a goal and an assist. Um, and yeah, they're both great signings. Clearly shown that. I think they've shown like De Bruyne is up there, and one of the best midfielders in the Prem ever, right? But they've shown that they can still do a job where he was, if you know what I mean. So if you're a City fan, you shouldn't worry too much about that loss in De Bruyne. And yeah, no, like typical City, really. 4-0 Wolves. And, unfortunately for Wolves, they've lost two of their players this transfer window who were their best players, and Ryan Aït-Nouri to obviously City, the team they played, and obviously Cunha to Man United. So it was always going to be hard for them. And yeah, I'm just not surprised that was 4-0, to be honest. What about you, Hassan?
Yeah, as you've said, pretty much, it was kind of a guaranteed win for Man City. They're quite a stacked team. They've done good signings. The two new signings scoring their debut in the Premier League. So, yeah, it's great for them to see, actually, doing well. But obviously, they're City. I don't support City. But yeah, Haaland bagging his 2 goals. It's kind of casual Haaland. Scoring 2 goals or nothing. Like, no one talking about it at all. But I think this shows his class. Like a lot of people expect him to score goals and stuff. I think he was great. I think Tijani Reinders was good as well. He's proven to be a very good signing. And Cherki as well. Obviously, we've seen how he was in France, and for Lyon as well. Very very good player. So yeah, it is exciting to see how City will do this season. But obviously, I don't wish them the best. But yeah, what about you, Khalas? What do you think?
I just think the one player we should be talking about in this game is Tijani Reinders. I think that pre-assist he got for the first goal, where he basically dribbled through two players and then a nice little chip through ball to
Rico Lewis.
The right was it Rico Lewis?
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Bob?
What?
Oh no, sorry. I don't think. What was it, Lewis?
Let me have a look.
Is Rico Lewis what, right back or right wing back?
Well, he's technically right back.
It might be
it
Rico Lewis.
It was Rico Lewis. It was Rico Lewis.
Okay. Yeah.
But the move was unbelievable from Man City. But obviously, Tijani Reinders was the magician that created it. Now he's a completely different player to Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne is obviously more pass in terms of passing range is unbelievable, crossing's unbelievable. I think Tijani Reinders is more nimble. He's more better with his feet. I think obviously he showed he can pass it, but honestly, Tijani Reinders is a fantastic signing. Obviously, he's not a like-for-like replacement in terms of Kevin De Bruyne, but I think he can be a great player for Man City, as he's already proved in the first game of the season. But if we move on swiftly to the next game, which was Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, another game that ended 0-0, where two players that actually are likely to leave Crystal Palace, in Eze and Guehi, played. I mean, Eze scored, but it got disallowed. Again, another 0-0 game. It's quite boring. What do you guys think?
Honestly, what I got to say is I'm absolutely surprised from Chelsea. Like as you know, we've talked about it a lot before, how excited we are about the signings they've made and how they're going to play. So I was quite surprised that they didn't win the game. Obviously, I predicted them to win. I think you boys did as well. Just clearly maybe some of these signings still need to gel with the team. I know like they had the Club World Cup where some of them played like João Pedro and Estevao. But it's clear that they still need time. Got to feel bad for Crystal Palace getting that goal disallowed. With the new, I think it's the new rule with the, got to be in within, like you can't be within 1 meter of the wall. But it's a bit unfortunate. It was a great free kick from Eze, and I saw a bit of a controversial moment, I guess, after the game with Guehi. Now, Haas has already mentioned that he's been linked with a move out. He ended up ignoring Glasner after the game, which is a bit, probably shows that he really wants that move out. I think you can't be ignoring the manager though. It's a bit disrespectful. So not nice to see that, to be honest. After everything that Crystal Palace has shown him, and and all the fans probably they all love him. So I to show that disrespect to your manager, maybe, yeah, maybe it's got read wrong, but yeah. What about you, Hassan? What do you think about the game?
I mean, as you said, yeah, 0-0. I mean, there was some moments in the game, obviously, with like the goal being ruled out and stuff. Unlucky for Crystal Palace and that. But yeah, no, I think that Chelsea with their signings and how they've played in the Club World Cup, they should have at least got a result.
Mm,
But I'm not really surprised. Crystal Palace off that Liverpool game, they've got a little bit of buzz and stuff. They're going to play well. But yeah, no, I feel like Crystal Palace are a good team, but obviously Chelsea, with the signings that they made and all that, it should have been an easy win for them. I predicted 2-1, I think. But yeah, 0-0. I mean, both of them get points, so I guess it's not the worst result for both teams. But I think Palmer was quite in that game as well. So yeah, I think Chelsea rely on him a lot to be the forefront of the attack. So if he doesn't provide enough, then obviously Joel Pedro will suffer as well. So yeah, I feel like we need big players like that to step up in those type of games. So yeah, what about you, Carlos? What do you think?
I mean, looking at the stats, I mean, Chelsea technically dominated the game. They had 72% possession and they had a much better passing accuracy. But obviously, that doesn't mean anything if you don't score goals and take your chances. They had more shots on all that, but they actually had less shots on target. I just think that both teams have their style of play. I think Crystal Palace are a great team. I mean, they've also got a buzz. I mean, both teams have buzzes of winning trophies over the last couple months. Two
Yeah,
trophies, to
that's
be
true.
fair, both two trophies each. Um, I think Crystal Palace this season I think they're going to be a very underrated team. I actually think they're going to do very well. I mean, they're in the Conference League. I actually think they're probably going to go on and win that because obviously they've already got that trophy-winning experience. I mean, if they lose players like Eze and Guehi, that's going to be poor for them. But yeah, I think Crystal Palace will do well this season. And Chelsea, on the other hand, yeah, there's not really much creation going on. Nothing really happened in terms
mm,
of there wasn't really anything exciting. Like I talked about my player to watch, Esteval. Obviously, he came off the bench. You can't really do much when your team's not really playing that well. But yeah, I just think that Chelsea could have done better and probably should have won the game on the basis of the stats. But obviously, like we said, stats don't mean everything. Now, the next game was Nottingham Forest versus Brentford. Now, I think all of us predicted that Brentford would lose this game.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch this game, but I heard from a couple of people that it looks like Brentford have fallen off a cliff. They just seem poor. Like they just seem like one of the teams that could go down. But what do you guys think about maybe Nottingham Forest side of the game?
Look, I'll be honest, I did not see the game or any highlights, unfortunately, but I'm not surprised at the result. Like Carl says about Brentford and the claims of them looking like they've fallen off a cliff. We're not surprised. All of us, no, sorry, not all of us. Me and Carl's predicted them to get relegated, and this kind of shows where they're going. Look, the losses that they got in the transfer window in terms of losing Buemo and Thomas Frank, especially Thomas Frank, it's just major. These are the best, like it's the best player they had, and their manager, the manager who's pivotal to everything that they do. So it's quite clear that there was going to be a massive drop off, and it's sad to see they didn't replace those Buemo or Thomas Frank clearly well enough. And look, let's not, give some respect, of course, to Nottingham Forest. They're a great team. They showed that last season. They made some couple of signings. Of course, I think they announced a couple of signings in the game itself with Amari Hutchinson and I forget, James McAtee as
James
well.
McAtee.
Yeah. So, yeah, of course, Nottingham Forest already have a great team, great coach. They managed to keep Morgan Gibbs White and stuff like that. There's not much to it. It's just a great team against a team that's just lost, pivotal player manager. So it was an expected result, really. What do you think, Asim?
Yeah, I've pretty much agreed to what you said, and yeah, we all predicted them to win, and rightly so. I mean, Brentford, as you say, they've lost their key players. Even Wissa as well didn't play and wasn't on the bench, so I feel like he might leave as well.
I didn't know that, to be
So
fair.
yeah, it's not great news for them to be fair, but
No.
yeah, I Nottingham Forest are a great team. I mean, last season we saw them, actually competing for the title. So I'm not really surprised that they've won against Brentford. But yeah, I think there's a lot to see from Nottingham Forest this season. And also Chris Wood scored 2 goals as well. And I've said pretty much Chris Wood can be a great player for them. He was great for them, I think, at the start of the season, but obviously he picked up an injury, and that's when they couldn't play him anymore. But I feel like he can obviously have a very good season, if he just doesn't get any injuries. But it'll be interesting to see how Brentford obviously come back from this big loss. Yeah, I know Forest look like a promising team as well. So yeah, not much to be said other than that. What about you?
I just don't really have anything to add, really, in terms of the game. Obviously, they both. I mean, Forrest made very good signings, and they're still looking to make more. I mean, I saw Douglas Luiz was linked to them. Obviously, we talked about James McAtee and Amari Hutchinson. And Brentford actually signed. There was one player who actually played really well for Bournemouth.
Right.
I forget his name. But he was unbelievable against Man United. He put some good crosses, and I think he could be a good player. I just don't think he's at the level of Brian and Burmo. Yeah, there's not really much to say. It was a kind of expected result, and it's kind of sad to see the fall off of Brentford because they've been a consistent team in the Premier League for a couple of years now and been kind of entertaining to watch with the counter-attacking play they had under Thomas Frank. But obviously, that big loss is going to affect them. And
I think it's Daniel Utara who they've signed.
Yeah, that's what I was
Daniel Utara, that's the one. Yeah, Daniel Utara. Yeah, he is a great player.
He had good games, to be fair, for them.
He's had a lot of good games. But the thing is, right, I just think that it was strange the way he left. Apparently, he felt, I don't know, he had a problem with Bournemouth or something. I don't really know what the main reasons were, but apparently there was a situation where he sort of basically forced the move to Brentford, which is kind of it is a downgrade. But I mean, let's move on to the next game. And the game of the weekend in terms of, I said it last time and I'll say it again, the staple of the Premier League. And it is Arsenal Man United. Listen, the game wasn't very good in terms of the scoreline. I thought it would be a much more entertaining game. But what we can say is that it probably went the wrong way in terms of Arsenal won the game, but Man United were way better than Arsenal. So what do you guys think? Because I actually didn't watch the game. The boys did.
Yeah, so like I said, I watched the game. It was, from United's perspective, they played amazingly. Like I said, they were the better team, 100%. But it's clear that they are missing a few players in a few positions. And I feel that at the moment, if they do not sign those players at the end of the transfer window or fill in those positions, then I can't see them getting anything better than sixth. But if they can make those signings, then I do believe they can not only push on from sixth, but onto possibly even top 4. Maybe that's maybe a crazy shout, but it's just I think with what I've seen today against Arsenal, I think they just need to make those signings, and those signings being a midfielder and a goalkeeper. Goalkeeper, especially in my opinion. I don't want to bash the guy too much. It's only one mistake. But of course, as we know, if a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it can cost the game. And unfortunately, this time
he's done it last season as well. To be fair,
of course, we know
with him and Son from the corner.
But we don't want to bash players specifically here. But
of course, yeah.
He's made the mistake and it's cost him the game. Arsenal, to be honest, I'm quite surprised in a bad way. I was expecting way more from them. Of course, they've made a couple signings, they got a gel, but look. United have done the same thing, and clearly they were playing much better. It's only one. So, we know, it's only the first match week. We can't take everything too serious. It's only been one game. Anything can happen going forward. But again, United with a much better team. Buemo and Cunha were really exciting to watch. Not only that, players like Dorgu, who they already had, showed massive improvements, and same with Mason Mount. Very impressed by him. But Man United played really well. Very unlucky not to win. Of course, they've got to be more clinical, and of course they do have Sesko, who didn't start the game, hardly got much time. So maybe as he gets more time, he'll be able to be that clinical finisher for them. And that's what I think about the game. What do you think, Hassan?
I think we played very well that game, as you guys have mentioned already. But it is Arsenal as well. I was expecting them to play like this as well. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of how they play. I feel like they rely heavily on set pieces and, like just getting fouls and, throw-ins and all this stuff. I think personally, if Arteta doesn't continue, try to play the team, from open play rather than from set pieces, I feel like he could get sacked if he doesn't get, a few trophies this season. Because he's been backed heavily for like, a good 2-3 years. So if he doesn't get any like good results this season, then I feel like he could get potentially sacked. And as you've said, we played very well. I think Amram's got these players to actually gain to that level where you can start believing that they could play for him, play the system. I think Dolgy was class. I think Cunha was amazing. The touch he had from I think the goal kick, and he just span past. I think it was Zubamendi and just ran past the defense. I think it's also the first half where he just ran past from the halfway line. His ball carrying ability is impeccable. It's very good. Mbeumo had good moments as well, but I feel like Mbeumo is a bit hesitant sometimes. He doesn't take the right shot.
Yeah.
I think this comes with nerves. I think it's just he needs more time. Obviously, he's not confident right now, so he needs to just build on that. But yeah, I think also De Ligt, he was a dark horse. A lot of people won't talk about him, but I think defensively he did a lot of the dirty work, to be honest. Because I feel like Yoro didn't have a great game, and I think also Luke Shaw was a bit iffy as well. But I feel like De Ligt was good. He was getting corners as well. He was getting involved in them. I feel like the team overall is starting to play very well, and I'm quite excited to see how we play for the next games. But yeah, as you know, with United, you don't really know what to expect. So we're just hoping we stay consistent now and just start playing good and actually finishing the chances. I think that's our main problem right now. We create chances, but we just don't know how to finish them, and we don't create enough chances for the striker because I don't think Sesko had any clear cut chances that game. So yeah, it's just can't wait to see how we do next game. What about you?
I think personally, if I were to say something to Altay Bayende, Orbit, what are you doing, Orbit? No, but on a real though, like on a real. Yeah, it's poor. It was poor from him. Listen, he's got to be stronger. Like most Premier League goalkeepers, they're strong.
Yeah.
I mean, people say it could potentially be a foul.
Yeah, Arsenal are scumbags.
Him.
I'll be honest, they're scumbags when it comes to corners.
They're dirty. They are very dirty when it comes to corners.
Yeah.
I mean, you see William Saliba. If you look at the replays, I mean, he had his arm kind of on Bayende, and he also had his arm. He was tugging on Mason Mount's shirt, which obviously doesn't help in terms of him defending. And also, he was involved in the penalty situation at the end of the game, which was, unbelievable how VAR doesn't look at that.
Yeah, sorry I didn't cover that. Yeah, because that was one of the main things I saw, and I was like, that should be a penalty, or at least be considered a pen. He doesn't get the ball. I mean? He completely misses the ball.
No ball goes through the player, and there's literally no. I mean, obviously there is intent to go for the ball, but you've gone through the player, and he didn't even get the ball.
Yeah, in the penalty area as well. Last minute.
It should have been. It was a clear penalty, to be honest, and I don't understand why VAR didn't look at it. And I've seen people actually say that it wasn't a pen. I don't understand that. But I mean, I think you boys covered Man United enough. I mean, I'm a Man United fan, but I don't really watch the game. But I will talk about Arsenal a little bit. I mean, you look at the players in their team. You'd really think that they'd be a team that would dominate the game. I mean, United, they're still a team that are progressing and sort of growing, and they're adding players in, and bit by bit. But I mean, you look at the players that Arsenal have. Their midfield is unbelievable. Rice, Zubamendi, and Odegaard. Their attack is, to be fair, Bukayo Saka's top class. I mean, Gyökeres is one of the best strikers in Europe, and I mean Martinelli's okay, but he's not. And to be fair, that's probably the position they need to upgrade. I mean, obviously, their defense is rock solid. Obviously, they kept the clean sheet. But I think the main difference was the goalkeeper. I mean, David Raya was unbelievable.
Agreed.
He made some great saves.
And obviously,
yeah, exactly. And I just think Bayende is just shaky. I think all our goalkeepers are shaky. Surprisingly, the best goalkeeper or the most consistent goalkeeper we've had is Tom Heaton. And he only played like 2 games.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think the main thing Man United need to look at now is a goalkeeper. I was saying it was a midfielder prior, but I think we have experience with Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. I'm not saying they had a good game. I don't really watch the game, like I said. I don't know how well they played.
Casemiro wasn't great. Bruno wasn't great either, I'll be honest. Bruno had a few good crosses in, but... Yeah.
Well, there you go. I just think we need in both positions, but obviously the reason we lost the game was the goalkeeper. And obviously we got Onana that isn't, playing as well. Yeah. And Ruben Amorim actually said in an interview, I didn't drop Onana, I put 2 players ahead of him.
Damn.
Now, that is bad. I mean,
Yeah.
you could say it could be
Holland's getting the
because
same
of
treatment as well, to be fair. It's not just
exactly.
Onana.
I think. Listen, I think Amram really wants to push for these players. I think he wants a goalkeeper in the midfield. I mean, obviously he's got the striker now.
Yeah.
But I think maybe now he's really pushing for that goalkeeper, and I
Yeah.
just think he really does need one. Like, I mean, if you're a 50 million pound goalkeeper and you're being dropped from the squad from, with all due respect, Tom Heaton, who's getting on or
Yeah.
has got on. I
Came
mean,
on a
he's
free as well.
basically he came on a free and he's a third choice goalkeeper. And Bayende, with all due respect, came from the Turkish league and hasn't really pulled up any trees except for the Arsenal game away at the Emirates in the FA Cup where he was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, like those two shouldn't be ahead of a 50 million pound goalkeeper, who we have to remember was probably one of the best goalkeepers in Europe when he was at Inter.
Yep.
Like
I will say for Arsenal though, is like they didn't play like a team that finished second last season. And if they have any hopes and dreams of winning the league anytime soon, or the Champions League, or any of these other trophies, then I hate to say it, but they're gonna be surprised, in a bad way. Because that's not a team that challenges for the title. Like from the way I've seen it, they have big names and stuff, but they did nothing. Like you look at Rice, you look at Odegaard, you look at
Can I say
Gyökeres. They
something?
did nothing. I'll be honest.
I wanted to just say something and add it real quick. So it kind of goes off what Hassan mentioned in terms of them being more of a set piece team now. Personally, I believe they're digressing. Is that the word? Like
going
progressing
backwards.
backwards. Exactly. Personally, I think their best team and the way where they were performing the best, like in terms of recent years, was in I believe the 22-23 season when they came second the first time. I think they played better then than they are now. And I think, again, to go off what Hassan mentioned, I think it's because they rely on set pieces more than they are relying on open play and like open play goals. So yeah, if Arteta and a lot of people have said that for Arteta, it's like now or never season. You know what I mean? If he doesn't get it done now, he's going to be out. Of course, a lot of Arsenal fans aren't saying that, and I think if I'm being honest, they need to stop being delusional and realize that they're not going to win anything carrying on like this.
It's mostly tie, isn't it? It's just mostly tie.
Yeah, pretty much tie and the whole of AFTV.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I mean, if I add a point onto the Arsenal situation,
go for it.
I mean, obviously Hassan was talking about Arteta getting sacked. Now, I think if that were to happen, I'm not saying it will because you never know. It could just be an off game in the beginning of the season, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's possible. I just think that if he were to get sacked and a different manager were to come in with a better style of play, I think these players would suit it more. I really believe that you can play beautiful football with this team. I mean, you've got two centre backs.
Sorry, I don't want to cut you. I'm just saying, like, I just want to add something stupid. Like, I just want to say he's playing terrorist ball right now because it's just so bad to watch. Like, if I'm an Arsenal fan watching that every single week, I'll dread of it. I'll get bored every 90 minutes because it's just passing the ball about, kicking it out, trying to get fouls, trying to get corners, and it's just so. Yeah, it's just boring. Like, I don't like to watch that style of football, and I don't think Arteta might get lucky with it for a few games, but I don't think that will consistently win you games. You know what I mean? Like, you need to play as a team. Like actually know when to press, know when to pass and shoot, and all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like Arsenal don't know how to attack. They just play very basic football. They're not a good coach team.
Yeah. I mean, like I was saying, obviously, if Arteta does get sacked and they did get a good coach, like obviously. We were just talking about previously, I think they have the players to perform at that level. I mean, they've got ball-playing centre-backs. They've got a goalkeeper that's good with his feet. They've got good full-backs. They've got a good midfield. They've got great attackers. I mean, they have everything in their locker.
In every position.
They have a great squad. Do you know what I mean? I think they have the potential to be one of the teams to push for that title. But if they keep on playing this style of play, as Hassan said, haram ball, as we probably say, it's just not going to be good. It's just not going to be good for
they're just
Arsenal fans. Do you know what I mean? I think Arsenal fans, the most important thing for them is to probably win a trophy. I mean, you've qualified for Champions League consistently for the past couple of seasons.
Delusional, man. They believe in the
I mean, but
these guys process too much, man.
No. The point is, I think to be a successful season for Arsenal, I think just to make progress from last season. I think if they were to win the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, it's still progress.
Of course.
Right? Obviously, they have to finish because obviously it is progress. But my point is, you've got some Arsenal fans that believe at the beginning of every season, Champions League and Premier League. Now, you look at the teams that are better than you, it's not going to happen. It isn't. I mean,
No.
Liverpool are way better. Even when they
I
play
see.
bad, they win. I mean, obviously, Arsenal's played bad and won. But
Yeah.
the point is, yeah, I think Liverpool were able to score way more goals, and they don't just rely on set pieces.
Agreed.
I think Arsenal have a reliance on set pieces, which is not good. I mean, the goal scorer was a defender, Calafiori, right?
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
might as well have been Binder at this point. He basically gave him the goal for free.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've talked a lot about this game. We could
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about. We could honestly talk about it for a while because there's loads of issues with both teams that we could discuss.
100%.
But
Yeah.
I think we should move on to the final game. Now, as of today, well, technically it is Monday because we're recording quite late.
But midnight.
But pretty much midnight. Leeds and Everton haven't actually played. Now, we did discuss them in the last video, and I think we're going to get the result probably. I don't know where it'll be, but it'll be around us somewhere. Yeah, it'll be around us somewhere. We can talk about what we think is going to happen, I guess. But I just think that in terms of Everton and Leeds, it should be a good game. But we said that about the last couple of games too. So I don't really know. I don't know what you guys
To
think.
be honest, I think it could just go either way. It's either going to be a really dead game or a really exciting game because they are on the same level, in my opinion. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it could literally go either way in terms of being an exciting game or a boring game. But like we've already talked about it, like you said in the last video, I don't really think there's much to add because no offense, it's not a big game in that sense, if you know what I mean. Like the team, they aren't big clubs, no offense. And it's it's the last game, so I don't know. I just think it's gonna be a boring one to be honest. Probably a draw.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't predict that, but I think I wouldn't be surprised, to be fair.
Yeah. I predicted 2-1 for Everton, to be fair.
Yeah.
Everton, obviously, not the best team right now. Leeds are just a newly promoted side. But I feel like Everton, they can get a result. It just depends on how they play as a team. And Dewsbury Hall is a good signing, to be fair. So we'll see how he, plays,
Jack Grealish, to
in
be
that
fair, as
game.
well.
Yeah. So I feel like, in general, I think, Everton should win the game. Obviously, it's away, but, seeing as Everton is like a consistent Premier League team that stayed in the league for a long time, I think that they should have, the experience to win. But, we'll have to see, to be honest. I think either team can win it, as you said. But yeah, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, to add to that point, obviously the game hasn't happened, so we can't really comment too much on it and what happened in the game because obviously we haven't seen it. But like we said, Leeds are actually interested in signing Okafor from AC Milan, who's a great player. So that could be a great signing for them, but obviously he won't be available for this game. Whether Jack Grealish will be available for Everton, I'm not sure. And obviously Calvert-Lewin for Leeds. It could be a little bit spicy. It could be a little bit spicy. Let's say if Calvert-Lewin scores maybe a last-minute goal or something like that against them, that would just rub salt into the wounds, I guess. But yeah, no, I think Jack Grealish and Iliman Ndiaye, we talked about them in the last episode. I think if these two can link up well together, then it could be a promising season for Everton. And by promising, I mean hopefully for them, not relegation candidates.
Yeah.
In that sense. Do you know what I mean? There's not really much you can say about Everton.
Yeah.
And Leeds, I don't really like them, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But that is it, guys. Those are the matches for this week. Like we said, a lot happened. Some good, some bad. But, the Premier League's back, and we are happy that it is.
Are we?
I mean, some of us are.
Yeah.
Some of us are. Some of us are. Yeah, some of us are.
Let's not get too excited, innit?
No, do you know what I mean? Like, listen, the Premier League has its ups and downs, but as a neutral, obviously, it's very exciting. But I definitely think there's exciting times ahead for even West Ham. I think if they make a signing of a midfielder, then it can definitely change their season around. I just think they have to make that signing.
I have no hope. I just have no hope anymore.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't really seen anything concrete in terms of transfer rumors for West Ham and a midfielder. But yeah, guys, it's been a great pleasure. But before we go, Al, you've got to do the quiz. So
yeah, right. Let's get into it. Right. So the first fact is he began his professional career in Senegal with AS Douanes. I might have butchered that. apologies if I have, a Dakar-based club before moving to Europe.
It's a bit ironic, isn't it? Your name's the Butcher.
Anyway, second fact. While at SC Freiburg, he set a record as the most prolific African goalscorer in a single Bundesliga season, with 22 goals in 2010-11 season. Now, the third fact. During his time at Newcastle, he was involved in controversy over the club's sponsorship by payday loan company Wonga, initially refusing to wear the shirt for religious reasons. The fourth fact. He once scored the fastest goal in Premier League history for Newcastle, just 57 seconds into a match against Southampton in 2014. And the fifth and final fact. After leaving Newcastle, he had a short stint in the Chinese Super League with Shandong Luneng before reviving his career in Turkey with Alanyaspor. Again, I've probably butchered all those club names. Apologies if I have. But yeah, so those are the 5 facts. Let us know who you think it is in the comments, and we'll reveal it in the next episode.
So, guys, we just want to thank you for coming in. We hope you enjoyed the video. And as we say every video, if you have any recommendations for us to add anything in the videos, we'd like you guys to get involved a lot more. And by getting involved, we actually want to show the table of who's currently, or what the leaderboard is right now in terms of the point system we brought up last time. I mean, I can't really see it now, so I don't know who's winning.
You're on so far as well.
Exactly. Get involved. That's what I'm saying. In the interaction, in terms of, leave a like, get involved, keep track of the games. But let's hope that the next weekend can be even better than this weekend. But
I sure hope so. Oh my God.
I mean, it's not looking good for you. You're playing Chelsea.
I mean, we lost as well, so we can't really say much either.
Yeah, and we're playing Fulham away, so it's not great. But listen, we'll leave that for the next video with our predictions. So thank you guys for coming in. Please leave a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell to get notified when we upload videos. And take care.
See ya.
See ya.